Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to be talking about how to make responsive grids using Singularity along with Breakpoint. And now, the process for adding Breakpoint is very similar to what we were used to before. We need a require statement in our config.rb file. Just the way we added Singularity, we're going to want to add Breakpoint. Now we also need to make sure we have the gem installed on our system, and you can install the gem using things like Bower or a gem file. However, since we just need to make sure we have it on our system for right now, I'm just going to do sudo gem install breakpoint. It's going to ask for my password, and this is going to download in 1 second here. Okay, after that is installed, we can go ahead and begin using Breakpoint. You'll notice it's not going to complain about not knowing what Breakpoint is after I've installed it. Now, the last thing we need to do is just import it the same way we would want to import anything else. And we have our styles file where we're importing Singularity and our variables. So let's go ahead and actually import it right above Singularity right here. And there we go, cool. And now we can begin to use Breakpoint. I'm going to check my iTerm. Yeah, I don't have any errors, so it's not giving me any confusion about what Breakpoint is. So therefore, we're ready to start using it. Okay, so what is Breakpoint, right? Well, Breakpoint is really just another extension for Compass. However, it allows you to use really simple media queries, and then you can use those along with the grid span mixin that we used before to make your content adjust to the grid. So let's get it going with our most very basic type of responsive site here. So I'm just going to go ahead and comment. I'm going to go ahead and comment this out right here, and let's come and refresh our page. Notice how I got rid of the 5 columns, but now I gotta revert the HTML back. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so the HTML that I'm using is the same that we were using from the video before this, where we had 2 columns. We had a content area and a left bar. Our grid is going to be a 3 and 8. And now let's come back here. Okay. So we're going to do this mobile first, right? So you know the mobile first, you basically want the container to be, you want your content to be as it is, looks good on mobile, and then design outward from that. Or develop design outward from that, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this width here too, and refresh. Okay, so now this is getting a little bit better. From here, let me actually just make this a little bit smaller so we can see both of these. From here, we can give the main area just a padding of 5%. Okay, so this is going to be our mobile layout. Now, we want it to, when it gets to a certain width, we want it to adjust and go into our 2 columns that we had, our left bar and our content area. So using Breakpoint, all we have to do is use a mixin that they give us, and it's at include, and then Breakpoint. It's nice and easy to remember, and now we just basically have to give it a breakpoint, right? So if we want to say at 400 pixels, we want the left bar, let me turn these comments off, like that. We want the left bar and the right bar to both be on the grid now. Okay, and that's good, just like that. Okay, so what we have here is a very basic website. It's going to, using normal our normal classes, it's going to be in one column. We have both of our divs stacked on top of each other. It hits this breakpoint. Then the left bar is going to say B1 column, start at the first position. Content area is going to be B1 column, start at the second position. We're using asymmetrical grid. So let's save this and refresh our page. And you'll notice when it hits 400 pixels, it gets into 2 columns here. And once we go below that, we now have just 1 column. Now, the cool thing about responsive sites, and people can say, you want to break at different tablet sizes and phone sizes. And phones are really getting impossible to really know all of the different possible sizes. I mean, Android phones alone are almost every single one's like a completely different dimension. So a lot of people are saying the way to design for responsive sites is really to feel it out, right? So to come in and say, okay, that feels nice. That breakpoint is a little too early. This column is not looking so good here. Where would that feel better, right? That might feel better right here. So we can do that using our tools here, and we can see that the total size, the total width of this is like 800 pixels. Let's see when it starts to look nice. It's more like 670 pixels. So instead of 400 here, let's say 650 pixels, and save that. Let's refresh it. So now we have our 2 columns when it's wide. We get here, 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 and then it breaks. So this is just about as basic as it gets, right? This site's always going to respond to its containers, but all we're doing is assigning things to a grid at a certain breakpoint. So breakpoint is that simple to get started, but there's all sorts of additional features that we're going to go over in further videos, and there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can do building really complex responsive grids. So get working. Make your basic responsive grid. In the next video, we're going to talk about a little bit more advanced grids. We're going to be adding columns at breakpoints. We're going to be just completely changing our content using breakpoints and singularity. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment on the video or hit us up at Twitter, Facebook, the Level Up Tuts forum. Let us know what you're thinking. We love to hear from you. Thanks and bye.